Gruppo Albatros il Filo presents Susi's Landau, a book by Bruno ARCANGELI GRABLOVITZ. Book cover. There are invisible strings tying us to our past, bonds that from father to son hand down customs, habits, traditions and feelings, making us feel part of the story that is set by the passing of years. The words in this novel, which could be defined historical, take our hands and gently and with great care lead us back to the end of the 19th century, when the young Susi from the small village of Ronchi dei Legionari attended the Ursuline Sisters' School in Gorizia. The Landau, which the book is named after, is a symbol of those changing times and, in a way, it accompanies Susi elegantly and lightly until the day of her wedding. Bruno ARCANGELI GRABLOVITZ meticulously reconstructs the history of her family, tile after tile, thanks to extensive research, precious documents and his mother's heartfelt accounts. The result is a detailed description of the social, economic and historical context of the time, when important events occurred, inevitably changing the future. Excerpt. The novel is entitled after the Landau, an ancient coach with a folding hood that Susi loved. It was with her in many important moments of her life, including her wedding. Susi lives her youth with apparent carefreeness and grace, the same grace that a family's Landau could inspire. Susi's features are due to her personality and to her family's upbringing. I've tried to describe Susi's youthfulness, the candor of a young girl living in a small village of Ronchi dei Legionari near Gorizia at the end of the 19th century. Like other girls of good stock, she is educated at the Ursuline school in Gorizia, and she has the possibility to become somewhat emancipated. That school was renowned at the time, and it allowed its students to learn in an unprecedented way. Girls were taught how to read, write and count, but they also studied history, geography, science, calligraphy, singing and housekeeping. Inspired by the chronicles of the Ursuline sisters, I try to illustrate events and feelings shared by Susi. The teaching methods and the discipline might seem far from our view, but they help understand the context those girls lived in. At first, I didn't mean to write a historical novel about Susi, but after reading my mother's memories, she met her, and many other documents, I decided that it would be the best options in terms of flow and truthfulness. Even though I've never met my ancestors, I try to feel their shoes and dialogue after dialogue to outline their personalities. The most challenging but stimulating thing was to provide environmental authenticity, since the characters live in a peculiar and specific social context. In order to do so, I consulted old chronicles and newspapers, like L'Eco del Litorale. During my research, I realized how historical evidence might seem out of reach, but with patience and luck, you can find everything you need. I will never forget how excited I felt when, while consulting the Ursuline Sister archive in Gorizia, I found the 1894-1895 class list with my great-grandmother's name. It was also interesting to read the weekly schedule and all the subjects that she and her classmates used to study back then. I've always been curious, and oral conversations have never been enough for me.